Hi, and welcome back to another edition of the Coaches Show right here on SportsNetUSA.net. My name's Avery Jordan, and today we're going to talk a little Fullerton College Hornets baseball. Head coach Nick Fuscardo, in his 31st season, has done a whole lot of winning. Right now, the Hornets are sitting at 8-3, sitting pretty, going into the end of the month of February. They're on a 3-game win streak, which is nice, but ultimately at the end of the season, the Hornets won a state championship. Coach Nick Fuscardo, like I said, 31 seasons. He's been coaching here a very long time, but it hasn't paid off the way that he ultimately wants it to. Hopefully this season will be the season for him. Now let's look at the roster to see which players are really helping push the Hornets to that championship. There's Aaron Lizarraga and there's Austin Case. Austin Case, 11 hits, 12 runs, tied with Joey Parente, who also has 12 runs and 19 hits. There's a lot of offensive production coming from the Hornets, which is good to see. It's good to see them putting up runs and bringing in runs, putting up points on the board. But heading into the end of the month, they really don't need to slack. Yes, their schedule is a little weaker towards the end of this month, but putting up runs is always an important thing, especially when you play teams that you've already played, such as Moore Park, who the Hornets defeated handily at the first game of the season. They see them on February 28th. They've also got other games against Mount San Antonio and Mount San Jacinto. Fullerton already played Mount San Jacinto and beat them 10-4, which is exactly who Mount Sac played. And a huge part of their victory was Ryan Knowles for Mount Sac. Ryan Knowles knows how to get on base. He's on base about 50% of the time, hits the ball about 40. He's a real stud as well, just like Joey Parente from Fullerton. So the Hornets really have to focus on either just keeping him on base and not bringing him in, or just striking him out, which is going to be extremely hard to do. So they should focus on the prior. Now, leading into the rest of the month, like I said, with the weaker schedule, no reason to slack off. Two guys that Fullerton really has to look out for in this Mount San Antonio game, one being Ryan Knowles and the other being Antonio Muniz, who both produce a ton offensively for their team. They don't really put up a whole bunch of runs, but they know how to get on base. And if they find a way to bring their runners in, that could spell trouble for the Hornets. Once again, my name's Avery Jordan, and I'll be joined here by my partners Luke Hobbs and Ryan Osborn right here on the Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net.
So we're here with Coach Nick Fuscardo, head coach of the baseball team here at Fullerton College. Coach Fuscardo, brand new season, new outlook.
Brand new season, new outlook. We're off to a really pretty good start, 8 out of 11. A lot of games on the road, and so our club has kind of grown up a little bit. Our conference is absolutely tough. The team in the 8th best record is 6-4. A new outlook for everybody. Everybody's going to try to win this thing. It's very, very competitive. The first poll came out, and every team in our conference is ranked in the top 20. So there's a tremendous challenge ahead for us and for our players.
Last year you had Austin O'Banion, Shane Carrier. You also had a couple guys up the middle who were big for you. How does their loss affect your team?
Well, there was 1 through 9. We were probably the most powerful lineup in California. I mean, everybody could hit. Everybody did hit. They were veterans. They knew how to play. They took care of business. They never panicked. They always accepted every challenge and came out on top most of the time. This year's ball club, we got some new guys. It's a whole different kind of like dynamic with our club. We have young kids at first base, at second base, at third base, at shortstop. We have a veteran outfield. We have a young kid at catcher. Our pitching staff has done okay so far, So basically, it's a different ball club, and it's like it was so comforting last year to know, oh, here comes the 7, 8, 9 hitters, and those guys can hit, and so we'll score some runs. These guys are getting it figured out. We battled yesterday against College of Canyons. We were tied 1-1 in a dogfight, and then we came up in the 8th and scored 6 times. Just got base hit after base hit, and did a really good job of battling.
When you talk about that veteran outfield, how important is it to have Joey Parente at the top of the lineup anchoring your lineup?
Well, Joey's probably he's probably our top hitter and maybe one of the top hitters in the state, you know. And for him to lead off, you go, well, don't you want him somewhere in the middle of the order where he drive home runs? Yeah, that'd be nice, but there's only one Joey Parente, and I can't use him in two different spots. So he's our leadoff guy. He gets on base. He hits the ball. He generates our offense and sparks the rest of the guys, which puts a lot of pressure on our other guys. Our two hitters got to know how to hit behind Joey on base because he does steal bases. He's got to understand, that I got to take some pitches, let Joey have a look at the pitcher, that. And, of course, obviously, when that happens, our offense becomes vital, vibrant.
Tough matchup coming up this weekend. How do you prepare for it beforehand?
Oh, my God, we never had a matchup like this before. We got 4 games to go. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And is that a good thing? Well, it's necessary because of the rain out and all. But it's a good thing because now we're going to play 4 days in a row, 5 out of 6 days, and I think it's a great challenge. We get to use our roster, and guys are going to know that they have to bear down and help out, when they can, and so guys are going to have to come out and execute tomorrow and the other days because we can't go with 9 guys throughout that stretch.
Thank you, Coach Fuscardo. We look forward to seeing you guys play through this week.
Well, I appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it as well. So always good to see you back again, my boy.
Thank you. We're being joined by Coach Mitch LaVere, batting coach here for Fullerton College. Coach LaVere, completely different lineup than you had this year. How do you make the adjustments?
Yeah, it's a little different. Some younger guys that I'm working with, but, we're still relying on our sophomores, which is, the outfield guys and a couple guys off the bench. That's what we're relying on still is our sophomores to come up and step up, but at the same time, trying to just develop the younger guys at this level and get them to succeed.
How do you coach players such as Joey Parente and then also coach a guy like Austin Case who are 2 different types of hitters?
You just try to work with their strengths. At the same time, I try to point out their weaknesses and let them know, and so it allows them to work on it. And at the same time, they're getting feedback from me at times. Yeah, they're different players. Both outfielders throw right-handed, so it just comes a little different at the plate. But everybody's a little bit different, so you just try to work with what they have.
When you see a guy that you've coached all week go into a game and have a 3-for-4 day, couple RBIs, and drive in the winning run, how does that feel as a coach?
It feels good. It definitely, gives them the confidence that what you're looking for and trying to get them to have. Because for me, the biggest thing at this level is just having the confidence to do it. You know what I mean? There's not too many guys like as in pitchers you face that are very dominant. You know what I mean? There's good pitchers, don't get me wrong, but there's nobody that dominant at this level. So it's just having confidence and like I'm saying is be able to be comfortable and know what you're doing, because the main goal here is you're here for 2-3 years and you're moving on the pro level, D1 level, or NAI, whatever it is. So it's just about trying to get them to understand themselves and develop them, allow them to succeed and build that confidence, like going 3-for-4.
You talk about training guys to be able to get to the next level. When you do have these brand new high school recruits, how do you make it so that way they go from just a freshman, little raw, to a skilled talent?
It's more mental. It's more mental. Obviously we're looking and we're scouting for guys that have talent to come in right away and play, same time compete. So, it's just, letting them be them and learning and getting activated at this level. If it's mentally or physically or educationally wise. So, it's just, there's a reason why guys are at the JC level,
Thank you, Coach LaVere. We look forward to seeing your team this upcoming week.
And now we're going to transition from the baseball field to the hardwood and talk a little Hornets basketball. Head coach Perry Webster, only in his 2nd season, has led the Hornets to an Orange Empire Conference championship. Their first Orange Empire Conference championship since 2009. Now, Coach Webster is no stranger to winning, as he's been the assistant coach over at Saddleback and he's won the state championship there as well as conference titles, 3 of them. 22-6 record this season and 11-1 in conference play, which is pretty solid. And they're on a 5-game win streak to go into the playoffs, which is their second consecutive season making a playoff run. Now, in their previous game, the Hornets came in ranked number 6, first of all, and they came in and faced the number 2 ranked Saddleback College. Now, in case you missed the last half decade or so, Saddleback has owned the Orange Empire Conference. They've been the champions for the last 5 years consecutive. So for the Hornets to dethrone the champs, that really hits home right here. The Hornets destroyed Saddleback on their home floor by 20 points, 74-54. Solid win and a great way to go into the playoffs. So the Hornets have a first round bye right now, and they're going to go up against Barstow Community College. Now Barstow, they're no walk in the park. Their record's about 16-11 coming into the season. But they really do have a challenge going up against Fullerton. All around, Ian Fox is a great point guard, knows how to set up his teammates, knows how to set the offense. He's a great scorer. He shoots almost 80% from the free throw line. But looking at Barstow, their main man on the inside is unbelievable. His name is Christian Drayton. Freshman power forward. This guy knows how to score on the inside. He averages a double-double this entire season. 17 points, 14 rebounds, and did I mention that he has 52 blocks? Now the X factor for the Hornets will likely be Dylan Reese, especially from downtown with his three-point shooting ability. He shoots about 30% from downtown. So we'll really see if the Hornets can put something together with Coach Perry Webster's game plan. And speaking of Coach Webster, my partner Luke Hobbs actually met with Coach earlier on in the week.
Hi, I'm Luke Hobbs, joined by head basketball coach for the men's team, Perry Webster. So we want to congratulate you on your 2017 conference championship. And let's go into that game for a second. Down by 1 at the half, but you outscore the Gauchos 39-18 in the second half. What do you say as a coach to your team at the break to fuel that kind of comeback?
You know, I don't think it was anything that I said that got them going. You know, as a coach, you'd like to take credit, but you know, it came down to players making plays. I got a good amount of good players, and in the halftime, the conversation was just about 20 more minutes to accomplish our goal. Let's make sure we go out there, we defend as hard as we can, we continue to play together and share the ball offensively, and then we're going to take whatever comes from that. And the guys were really excited, and they were spirited, and they were a really tight-knit group, and they deserve all the credit for that. That's not about me. That's about the players doing their jobs.
And speaking of players, can you tell us, was there any one or two maybe that had that really special performance that stood out?
Yeah, you know, in that game especially, I think all 5 of our starters all played well, but Ian Fox, you know, kind of cemented himself as the league MVP in that game. And over the last couple of years, Ian has gone through some ups and downs against Saddleback. He's struggled a little bit against them. They've always focused on him, and he did a tremendous job in letting the game come to him, taking good shots, making good decisions, and that's why he had 22 and cemented himself as league MVP. And then Kenny Barnes did what Kenny Barnes can do. Kenny's a really good player, you know, first team all-conference as a freshman and as a sophomore. But I thought this year that there were some times where he was kind of floating out there and wasn't being assertive. And leading up to the game, we discussed with him about how we needed to win his matchup. We felt like we had an advantage at the 4 spot and that we needed to get a good game out of him. And he had the right attitude all week in practice, and that showed, and he really stepped up to the plate. And we really won that matchup, and that was a big turning point for us.
So what does this win mean for you, becoming the Orange Empire Conference champions in only your second season, especially with that win coming against Saddleback?
It means a lot to me because I know that us as a staff and as a program, we put a lot of hard work in. This kind of success doesn't just happen overnight. It's every day, every morning, working and grinding to get to this spot. But, you know, I would say I came here to win conference championships, but I'm also here to win more. And I think our guys understand that, and we still know that there's a lot of games in front of us for us to go out and have success.
You have the top seed in the playoffs. What advantage is that going to give you?
You know, it was just about getting a top 4 seed. The top 4 seeds all get home court in the first 2 rounds before they would possibly get to the state tournament. We wanted to get that home court. We didn't want to have to travel somewhere far. So our whole season, we talked about the 1 seed, but we also talked about making sure we're a top 4 seed. So we just kind of consider the 1 seed as, you know, kind of a feather in our cap to say, you know, we played the toughest schedule in the state. We had the number 2 defense in the state. We won the toughest league in the state. We did the things necessary for us to get there. We're happy to have home court advantage, but that doesn't matter if you don't take advantage of having that game on your home court. So we just need to make sure we focus on the next game.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you this Saturday night.
All right, thank you. See you guys.
Once again, I'm Luke Hobbs, joined by Ryan Osborn and Avery Jordan. That'll do it for this week on The Coaches Show. We want to give thanks to the coaches for basketball and baseball that joined us this week. You've been watching The Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net.